Okay. Right. I hope my voice is audible for people online and the screen is shared. Yes. Okay. So welcome to 5 days internship in web designing and web development. So this is going to be a 5-day program completely for beginners. So there's going to be a beginner level kind of training. So there might be people who already know web development or have learned Okay, sorry about that. Yeah. So we'll start with the session. Yes. Okay. Now you all are here for web designing and web development, right? So people who are online can also answer me in the chat box. You're free to type your answers in the chat box. I'll be seeing it here. So talking about websites, you are here to learn about web designing and development, right? Yes. So basically, what is a website? What is a website? Websites are collection of web pages. Yes. Why do you develop a website? Why do you need a website? Who needs a website in the first place? Who needs a website? Users. We are users. Do we need websites? No. See, people who do business, right? People who wants to promote their services, who wants to promote their products. Now, let's say you and I are starting a business. Yes. To take it forward, if you and I need people to understand about our business, the first thing that we need is a website, right? So a website is something where you display about the products that you develop or the services that you give to general users. Yes, who will be seeing all this? Users will be seeing all this. So when a user goes, opens your website, he will come to know what kind of business you are doing. So businesses, companies, IT companies, they need website. Educational colleges, universities, they need websites. And we have e-commerce sites to sell their products. They need websites. So everyone needs website. Whoever is doing a business, they need a web application, right? Now, talking about websites, there are two types or two ways of creating a website. Okay. So in website, there are two types or two ways of creating a website. One type is static and another type is dynamic. So there are static web pages and there are dynamic web pages. Now the basic difference between a static web page and a dynamic web page. Now let's say we are starting a company, okay, and let's say we are selling a product called soap. Okay, so we are going to promote this particular soap in our website. All right. So there are two ways how you can promote this using a website. You can either develop a website where you can only give the details about the soap. What is our soap? If people use our soap, what are the benefits that they get? This is one type of website which you can create. The second type is you can enable the user to buy your soap. So through the website, we are allowing the user to purchase the soap. So these are the two ways where you can promote the product using web page, right? Now, if a user can only see the contents in your web page, and if he cannot go edit or communicate or buy, or if he cannot do anything with the website, that is static. So static is where you just display the details. You just display the details. There is no communication between the user and the web page. The user can just only see. He can see the pictures, he can see the content, and that's it. But he cannot communicate. That is a static web page. Talking about dynamic, dynamic is where you allow the user to communicate. So the user can communicate with the website, which means he can go to the website, he can register into the website, and then he can choose the product, he can add it to the cart, and then he can buy. So for all this, he needs an interaction with the website, right? If the user is trying to register, the website has to allow the registration. If he wants to buy, the website has to again allow for him to buy, right? So there is a to and fro interaction happening between user and the web page. So that is dynamic web page. So if the web page allows you to communicate, that is dynamic. If you are not able to communicate, you are only able to see, then that is static. Okay, so these are the two types of websites which we have. All right. Now, when you can either be a web developer or a dynamic web developer. There's the backend aspect, right? So to become a static website developer, the technology, the basic fundamental technologies that you will need is HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. If you know these three technologies, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, you are good to start with static web page. So you can create static web page for anyone you want. But that web page will be static, which means it will be idle. User can't communicate with the web page. If you want to create JavaScript, and along with this, you will also need frameworks like PHP, you need database like MySQL, you need Node, Angular, React, you have many other frameworks. You need all this for dynamic web pages. Okay, so let's discuss about the technologies. So in web, talking about web to start with, okay. So the first technology by default, you all know it is HTML. Yes, HTML is the basic technology which you need. HTML is called a browser's language. It is a markup language. Only this language is understood by a browser, be it a Chrome or a Firefox or any browser, right? So what can you do with HTML? Now imagine this is your web page. This is your web page. Now in this web page, you're going to create a logo here, and you're going to set some navigation links here. You're going to display a big picture here, and then you're going to have some contents here, right? What are these called? All these are called elements. Okay, this image is an element. This navigation icon is an element. This background image is an element. This content is an element. So everything in a web page is an element. Okay. Now, if you want to create element, then you should know HTML. So HTML allows you to create elements. Okay, HTML allows you to do only this. You can just create the elements in the web page. So whatever element you want, you have elements, multiple elements, like you have elements for paragraph, you have elements for image, you have elements for list, you have elements to create table, you have many such elements in HTML. So they allow you to create elements in the web page. Okay. Now you have this logo here, right? This logo. Now let's say you wanted to style this logo. Like you wanted to set height and width for this logo. You wanted to, change the look of that logo, how it is visible in the website. You wanted to move it a little bit from this margin. You want to move it a little bit from the top. So if you wanted to style this particular element, then the next technology that you will need is CSS. CSS is called cascading style sheet. Abbreviation of CSS is cascading style sheet. It, by the name implies style sheet, it tries to style the element. So whatever element you have, let's say you have this navigation links here, right? So if you wanted to change the color of this link, you wanted to, change the height of this image, you want to change the structure of this particular content, all this you can do with the help of CSS. Yes. So HTML and CSS goes hand in hand. So one cannot live with another kind of relationship they have. Okay. So if you are using HTML, you have to use CSS so that whatever you're trying to do looks beautiful. If you want your web page to look neat and beautiful, then you have to mandatorily use CSS. All right. And the next technology is JavaScript. JavaScript. Now, JavaScript, again, it is a scripting language. Okay. And why do we use JavaScript? JavaScript is used for interactiveness. To interact with your business, website. Yes. Now, how does JavaScript help, you to interact with the website? Now, let's say in your web page, you're going to create a sign up form. So by default, the sign up form is going to ask your first name. It is going to ask for your last name, and then it is going to ask for your email, and then it is going to ask for your contact, and then a submit button. Okay, with the help of HTML and CSS, web page, when a user comes to your web page, okay, and he tries to fill in the details. Okay, now in first name, what is the user supposed to type? His name only, right? And can names have numbers? No. Every user will have a name, and his names will be only of alphabets, not numbers, right? So here you have to keep a condition. Now, you have to place instead of alphabets. If the user goes and types any number in this particular field, it should show an error. Stating, see, your name can contain only alphabets, not numbers. So that is a condition checking thing, which you can do with the help of JavaScript. And in email field, talking about emails, in emails there should always be an @ symbol. Yes, and user can have apart from this, he can't, whether he has Gmail in his text, whether he has Yahoo in his text. And talking about contact can have only 10-digit numbers. 10-digit, and it can only be numbers. So validating all this is called validation. Validating all the fields, all the data entered by the user, that you can do only with the help of JavaScript. This is where JavaScript comes into picture, right? And okay. Before entering into PHP topic, I'll tell you there are two things to know when you design a web page. One is front end and another one is back end. There is something called front end and there is something called back end. Okay. So when you design a web page, whatever the user can see, on this web page, see, I'm able to see the logo, I'm able to see the content, I'm able to see the image. So whatever we are trying to see here, this is front end. Okay. But now, do you know where this website is being saved, or from which server it is actually appearing here? Do you know where the server is? No, we don't know all that, right? That is back. So backend is something, front end is of that website or the developer of that website can access. Okay, so this is front end and this is back end. So two things, front end and back end. Now let's get into PHP topic. Let me crop this. Okay. Now let's say in your web page you have a sign up form with first name, last name, email, and a submit button. This you will design using HTML, JavaScript, and CSS. All right. Now, there is something called server in the backend. Your website. All right. Now, whatever detail email ID, and when he clicks the submit button, all these details should get stored somewhere, right? So where will the details get stored? The details will get stored in the server. So here we'll have a database, and inside this database, the data will get stored. So if you have a server, you can create database and you can store data. That is the ultimate concept, right? Now, if the user, now let's say this user goes and clicks his profile icon. So when he clicks his profile icon, whatever he has entered, his name, his email ID, his last name, this all should get displayed, right? So where will it come from? It will again come from this server. From this server, the data is going to come and get displayed here. Now, who will do this process? This middle process, right? This middleman process will be done by PHP. Between and your backend server. Okay, so PHP is a middleware between your front end, the sign up form, and the backend server. So it is going to take all the data from your sign up form, it is going to store it in the database, and whenever you want it to view, it is going to again ask the database and it is going to bring and it is going to show it to you, display it to you. So this PHP will do. So whose help PHP is going to take to deal with this database? PHP is going to take help of SQL. That is why we have languages like MySQL, SQL, all these languages. PHP will take help of these languages and it is going to do this process. All right. Now, if you are about to start with web development, these are the 5 fundamental technologies that you have to start with. These are fundamental. These are basic. All right. Now, apart from this, you also have many frameworks. Like you should have heard of React, Node, Angular, yes, MongoDB, Meanstack. You have many such frameworks. All these are advanced versions of these. So when you know these fundamentals, learning those frameworks are very easy. Okay. So these are the fundamentals that you have to be very strong with. All right. This is with the technology part. Now, let's get into some terminologies now. Now, let's start with the business development concept. Now, let's say there is a client. Okay, so a client comes to us. Basically, we all assume we all are web developers. So a client is coming to us, approaching to develop a web page, a website, not web page, a website. Okay, he's coming here and asking, he's going to tell us what kind of business he's doing and he wants a website to be developed. So what are the things that you should follow from top to bottom. Basically, what every developer will follow. Okay. The first thing is the flow. Flow of the website. Now, what is flow of the website? Initially, you should ask the client what kind of website it is going to be. First thing, yes, what is the base of that website? Is it whether a product selling website, or is he from any service based company? Yes, or he wants any e-commerce website to be developed. So you're going to ask him what is going to be the base of the website, or you can also say the soul of the website. That's the first thing you will ask him. Okay. And then you will ask him the budget. What is the budget that he has? And based on that, we can decide what type of technologies, how many pages we should create and all that. All right. And then you need to decide whether this is going to be a static or a dynamic web page. Whether the website that he's asking is going to be static or dynamic. This is the next thing which you have to decide. After this, what the next step should be is you have to prepare a wireframe. We'll be preparing a wireframe. Now, what is wireframe? Now, the client, when he comes, he only comes with the idea. He has an idea of what website he needs. Now, we as a developer should show him options, right? So, we are going to give him design options. Okay, so for this design option, we are going to design some pages. See, you came up with this idea. So we have designed like around 3 pages. So for your idea, we'll have 3 web pages. And in each page, we are going to have images. We are going to have set of contents here. We are going to have all these details. We are going to have a contact page. We are going to have map. So you're going to design a sample wireframe of what the client asked. And you're going to show it to them. So before getting into development directly, this is the second step which you have to do. Right? Directly, if you try getting into the code concept, development concept, when client comes for changes, it is going to be a bit risky for you. So first things, you have to design and you have to get the confirmation from the client and then start with the development process. So basically, this is something like a designing stage, not the development stage. So during the designing stage, you're going to create wireframes, and for this, you have multiple options to do. To create designs, you can use a plain PPT, you can use a plain PowerPoint, you can use each slide and you can create wireframes there, or you have other tools like Figma, which also I'll show you in class. There is this tool called Figma, which you can use to create designs, to create layouts, how the web page is going to look like and all that. Content. So collect content is what should be included in the web pages, what images should be included in the web pages. Yes, and their contact details and all those details, you're going to collect it from the user. Sometimes the client will give you the images. Sometimes stuff, it is very easy for you to create your own images using AI, right? I'll also show you web pages. AI is where you can just go ask question to that AI, and the AI is going to create an image for you based on your question. So whatever kind of image you want, you can just go ask that AI. See, I need an image with a background of a sea, and a girl standing in front of that sea with the sunset view. When you ask an AI, it is going to give you an image like that. So you can generate AI, or you can just go download images from web pages, and you're going to collect all the content. And then the fourth stage will be your development stage. Development stage is where your actual coding structure begins. So for all the design, all the text, image, contents, fonts, everything that you've confirmed, you're going to keep all that and you're going to develop it. This is how you have to start when you start designing a project. Yes. So this is the business flow. Okay. Now to write HTML share the attendance form. Will notes be provided or should we take running notes? The notes will be provided to you. We'll be uploading the notes in Google Drive and we'll share you the link. And I've shared the attendance sheet. Please fill in your attendance for today, people who are online. Okay, so we're here. Now, talking about which tools to use to write codes. So you can start with basic Notepad++. Notepad, not Notepad, Notepad++. There is something called Notepad++. Or you can use Visual Studio Code Editor. That is again more simple, which we will be using in class. Yes, Visual Studio Code. You have something called Sublime. So all these are editors. You have something called Atom. You can also use Eclipse. All these are editors which you can use to type code. Okay. I'll be using Visual Studio. So what I will do is I will share this Visual Studio exe file in a drive. It will be shared to you in your WhatsApp channel. If you want, you can download it from there, install and you can use the same. Or if you are okay with going with Notepad++, yes, again, that is up to you. Or you wanted to use other editors or you have already been using any other editor, you can use the same. Okay. So I'll tell you how to use VS Code. So when you open Visual, after installing Visual Studio, when you open it, it's going to look something like this. This is the first page. All right. So once you are into the first page, into the welcome page, see here you have this last option called extension, right? Go to just type live server. Just install the first one. I've installed the first one. When you click on live server, it is going to ask you for the install button and then click on install, it will install. This is the first thing that you will do when you open your Visual Studio. Okay. So once the live server is installed, go back to the first option here and see it is asking you to create a folder. We don't have a folder here, right? So click on open folder. So from your system, you can create any folder you want. So I'll just create a new folder here called temp. And we'll select this folder. Inside this folder, to use it in your web page, all the things are going to be inside this folder. All right. So here, how do you create a new file? You have this icon here, this icon, new file, or you can go to file and click on for name, index dot any web page. The first page of that particular web page will have index, will have the name index. Okay. Basically, when you talk about a website, what web pages can a website have? It can have a home page, it can have about page, it can have services page, it can have contacts page. Let's assume a web page can have all this. In this, which is going to be the first page? Home page. So whichever page is going to be your first page, you have to name it as index. It can be index.html, it can be index.html, has to be, you can keep. But the first page should always, all right, keep this in mind. Why are we naming the first page as index? See, now let's say you have developed a web page, like you have developed home, about, services, and contact using your Visual Studio Code. You have 4 pages here. Now where are these pages? It is inside your system, right? Now this web page only you can see, because this is your laptop. You are developing all over the world. What do you have to do? What website hosting? So you have to host your website. Where are you going to host your website? Host your website in website. You need 2 things. Now in your, and inside this temp we have index, we have about, and let's say we have contact, 3 pages created. Now this is inside our system, which only we can see. All right. Now if people in the internet should see your website, what you have to do is you have to buy 2 things. That is, one, the domain name, and 2, the server space. You need these 2 things so that people in the internet can see your web page, whatever you have designed. All right. Now, where do you go buy these 2 things? There are many hosting providers. There are many hosting providers like GoDaddy. We have BigRock. We have Hostinger. We have many kind of hosting providers who give you this. Now, I'll just go search Google for GoDaddy. Okay, so this is the website, official website of GoDaddy. So when I enter inside this web page, it is going to ask me what type of domain I want. Okay, so basically it is like choosing a name for your web page. Okay, now let's say you're going to start, you're going to create a portfolio website. That is, you're going to create a website for you. So it's a website which is going to be about you. So you will buy a website on your name only. Right? So senthilraj.com and see if this domain is available or not. So what GoDaddy will do, it is going to search and it's going to say, yes, the domain name which I searched for is available. Yes. And if I want, yes, I can pay and I can buy it from. I can also buy .org or .net or .info, but still .com is also available. All right. This is how you purchase a domain name for your web page. Okay. After you purchase the Big Rock. So this is Big Rock. Yes. So if you go inside Big Rock, again, see, it is going to ask you what type of domain name you want. You can search and you can buy. And then afterwards, see here you have servers option, right? So you can go inside this and you can find different types of servers which are available. Now, if your website is going to be a very basic website, not with much data, it is going to be a very simple website, you can go with Linux servers. Okay, so Linux servers are like, it comes with more features, more secure options. So you can choose Linux servers and it is going, you can choose for the plans and see for a month you have pricings listed here for Linux servers. Okay, so basically you have to purchase it. So you need it only when you're going to develop it for any client or anyone, right? So this is how you purchase a domain name and a server. Now, after you purchase, whatever is inside your system here, whatever is inside your system, you will upload it to the server. You'll give it to the server. And once you give it to the server, anyone in the internet goes and tries to search for your website, soumitasenthilraj.com. When they go search for this website, the index page opens. Okay, now how this is done from your system, how you are uploading all the documents to server and how this is getting live, we'll be seeing it. I'll show you a live demo of how you have to upload your documents from your system to live server and how it is getting publicly visible. We'll see that in another class in the next 5 days. So this is what a gist of how you have to upload your or host your web page. Now that we have set up our Visual Studio, we'll start with basic HTML and CSS today, so that I can give you assignment to work on. Right now we have index.html created here. Where is human? Okay. Is it visible? Yes, or should I zoom in a little bit? Yes, okay. Now that we are here in index.html, see, I'll tell you a shortcut first. Okay. Now, initially, you all know at least a basic of HTML tags. Yes. Now, instead of typing all your basic HTML tags, what you can do is in your keyboard, type the exclamatory symbol and click on the tab key. So it is automatically going to fill you with the basic tags. The basic HTML tag, head tag, body tag, and slash tags and all that. So now you can directly start typing whatever code you want. Okay. So it is exclamatory and the tab. All right. So in VS Code, you're going to create a new folder and then create a file called index.html. And after that, you will type exclamatory and then you're going to type the tab key. Hit the tab key. It is going to give you the basic code structure. Okay. So if you look at the basic code structure, you have HTML tag, you have head tag, and then you have the body tag. All right. So whatever you wanted to see in your web page, that should be always inside your body tag only. So whatever you wanted to see, you will create it inside the body tag. Now I'll just type, hello, welcome to my site. Okay. So I've just typed one line. Now, how to view this in your web page? What you have to do is just click Control S, save, and then right click. Okay, right click and see here you have this option called Open with Live Server. Yes, click on this. So when you click on this, the live server is started, and see here. Hello, welcome to my site gets open. Now it is opened in a live server 127.0.0.1 in your system. Okay, you can copy this link and you can, if you want, you can go to Chrome and you can paste it there, and you can use Chrome also to do this. Okay, so I'll keep this simultaneously, this and this. Okay, now see here, whatever I do in Visual Studio, it will automatically get updated here. So I'll remove this and I'll type welcome to 5 days internship, and I'll just click on save. So when I click on save, it automatically gets changed here. You don't have to go refresh or do anything. Just save whatever you're doing, type it here and save. It is going to directly get reflected there. So you can side by you can code and side by you can check for the output, whatever is viewing. You don't have to go to and fro, save, refresh. You don't have to do that. All right. So this is where you type your code and this is how it gets applied here. Okay. Now talking about HTML tags. HTML tags, you have many types of tags, n number of tags, right? To create an image, you have image tag. To create a paragraph, you have paragraph tag. To create lists, you have list tag. To create a table, you have table tag. Yes, you have n number of tags in HTML. So this, unless and until you don't explore these tags, you won't understand what these tags are. I can keep on explaining what these tags will do and all that, but you have to practice it. So whatever tag you want to practice, you'll be typing that tag here. So every tag will have an opening tab and a close tab. So when I type P, it is automatically giving me the closing tag also. So I'll write hello, how are you? And I'll save and it gets changed here. Okay, so this is one type of tag. This way you have many other tags, right? Image tag, you have, header tags, H1, H2, H3. You have 6 header tags. Yes. So all these are HTML tags, but I'm not going to bore you with this basic HTML tag. What I'm going to tell you now is about the semantic HTML tag. Okay, I have some sample HTML tags written here, but then let's discuss about semantic elements. Okay. Now, what are semantic elements? Semantic elements, you have tags like header, you have tags like nav, you have tags like section, you have tags like article, and you have tag like footer. These are semantic tags. These are tags which are introduced in latest HTML. HTML. Now, what are these tags? These tags, as the name goes by, it helps you to segregate your website. Now, this header tag will help you add headers to your page. Now, what is header? Your section. For that, add links. Now, if your web page news, for that you can use nav tag. Section, it will help you categorize. It will help you divide the web page. It help you divide the web page into different sections, right? So in one single web page, if you're trying to create an about section and down below about section you want services, below that you want a sign up form, you can use section. An article will allow you to, it will help you to create independent content. Independent content inside a section. I'll tell you what that is when in example. It is more or less same as section. And then footer will help you add footers to your web page. Okay, so these are some semantic HTML elements. All right. So I'll tell you how we'll create all this, but along with this, I'll also tell you about CSS so that we'll do both together. Now, CSS, as I told you, the full form of CSS is cascading style sheet. Okay. So CSS looks something like this. You will have to type the selector and then open, close, curly braces, and then property value. I'll go to Visual Studio now. So see here, I have a paragraph created here. Hello, how are you? Okay. Now for this paragraph tag, if I have to write a CSS styling sheet, yes, what I can do, there are two options. There are three options, but third normally people don't use. We'll use two options. The first option is inside your head tag, you can use the style tag. Inside your head tag, you will type style. And if you want to style this paragraph tag, you'll type P and then curly braces. And here inside this curly brace, you can type whatever styles you wanted to apply. So now let's say I want to change the color of this text. So I'll change it to red. So when I click save, see the color gets changed. Okay, if you wanted to change the font size, then I can type font size. It also shows me suggestions. So in font size, maybe I can type large. Yes, I'll click save. font size changes. Or instead of large, you can also give values like 20 pixels, and this is 20 pixel. If I give 5 pixel, this is 5 pixel. So if I give 15 pixel, it is going to change. So you can directly type. So how is it changing here? Once I type, I'm clicking on save. So whatever corrections you're doing, do the corrections and click on save button so that it gets reflected in this particular page. Okay. So now for paragraph, I've written this. Now let's go create a header tag. I'll type H3 and I'll just type welcome to my site. And I'll click save. See, I have a header tag. Now, if I want to write style for this header tag, I can just type H3 and then curly braces. And here I can go again and type, I need color to be blue and click on save. The color gets changed. This type of writing CSS is called internal CSS. This is called internal. Why internal? You are writing CSS in the same page. Wherever your HTML code is, you are writing CSS there only. That is called internal. Now, normally how people will write CSS, they won't write like this. I mean, developers won't write like this. What developers will do, developers will create a separate sheet for CSS. Okay, a separate file for CSS. So for that, what you can do is you can, in your head tag, you can use the link tag. There is this tag called link. Okay, so link rel equal to, so we are going to link a style sheet and then we'll type href equal to the location of style sheet and then close. So now I have just written link tag here. Okay, so this link tag refers to a style sheet which we are going to create and it is going to have a file called style.css. Now, do we have any file style.css here? No, we don't have that, right? So when I go click this link, it shows follow link, right? Just click on follow link. It will say you don't have a file called style CSS. Click on create file. It will automatically create it for you. Now here you can, in the style sheet, you can type all the styles. So for paragraph tag, I'll type color will be green. And click on save. And go to index.html. Click on save. See, the color gets changed. So you can use a separate index file and a separate CSS file. Okay. You have any doubt to ask? No? Okay. So this is index and this is HTML. Now with whatever we have discussed, okay, whatever we have discussed, I'll have a sample code with all the headers and all that. We'll take this code. We'll take this header and footer code. Put it inside the body. Yes. Okay, see here. Now, this is the header. Welcome to my portfolio. Okay, this is the header. In this code, if you see inside body, I have written a header. Okay, so inside header, I have welcome to portfolio, and this is the header for that. All right, and below that, we have three options. This comes under the nav tag, navigation tag. So inside navigation tag, I have used anchor tags, a tag, and I've created about, projects, and contact. Okay, now all these are inside header tag. These are the semantic elements. This is how you have to use them. All right. And the next tag is called the section tag. And the content of me inside a package. Two more, and see here, these are different sections that you can create. Okay, and final thing I have is a footer. So this is a footer and this is my footer. So now using HTML, you have created all this. Okay, so now what we have done is we have created the elements. Now to style this, I have a style sheet here, right? Now in this style sheet, I also have the style content, which is here. Don't worry, I'll share this code with you so that you can practice it in your side. So this is the style sheet which I have. So in the style sheet, see the attributes which I've used. I've used font family. Font family is choosing the font. And then we have margin. So margin decides the space of each element from all the margins. Okay, whatever value you give here, now here it is 0. 0 means it starts from this end, this leftmost end. Okay, so that is margin. And then you have padding. Padding means in an element, how these elements should look like. The spacing of this element inside another element. That is padding. All right. And then you have background color, text align center. So I have choose all these tags, HTML tags, and I've given certain CSS. I've just used only 6 or 7 CSS that I've repeated. All right. Now let's see how this index.html looks like. Okay, so this looks something like this. So header has a green color background. Yes, it has an element. It has a header title which is welcome to my portfolio. These are the navigation tags, and then we have one section, and there is a content inside this section, and then we have a footer which looks something like this. All right, so for this I have just added a CSS. This is the basic HTML CSS attribute and element which I've used. Okay, so you have to practice this. If you are a beginner, you obviously have to practice this. So what I will do is I will give you both index.html and style.css for you to practice. So what you can do, you can just take these files, put it inside your VS Code, try editing, try changing the color. And after you change the color, check whether the color is getting changed, getting reflected. Try changing the values and see if it is getting changed, so that you will understand how that property works. Okay, once you're done with this, what you're going to do is I'll give you an assignment for today. So in this assignment, you're going to create one web page, one single page. All right, you're going to create one single page about you. It is going to be purely about you with whatever tags, whatever CSS attributes you're going to create one simple page, add pictures inside that page using image tag. I am not worried about the alignment and all. If you are a beginner, just bring in everything inside your web page. That's the first thing that you should know. Don't worry about how it is looking like. You're not able to do it neatly. Don't worry about all that. First thing is you have to bring everything inside your web page. Unless and until it is visible, you're good to go. All right. So you will add pictures, you will add content about you, you will describe who are you in that particular web page. So something like, now imagine this is your web page. So in this web page, here, let's say you will type your name. Let's say we have Archana. So we'll type Archana. Archana's name will be her own logo. Yes. And then an introduction, something like, add a background image. And in background image, over the background image, type a text, something like welcome to know me. And then add, about, add, job, you can add college or academic, and have one section which talks about you. So it is going to be about who you are, what you like, yes, about your hobbies and passions, and another section about your academic, about your college, okay, what degree you're learning and all that. And the final section will be a contact section where, if people have to contact you, include your Instagram account or your Facebook account, URL and all that. And then have a footer also. So in footer, you can either add your contact directly in your footer, or just like how we have created a basic footer here, you can create a footer like this also. It's up to you. Okay. So you will have 3 sections: about section, your academic section, and your contact section. 3 sections. You will have one header, and then you will have, all right. And for you to practice HTML and CSS, I also have a document with me where, I have all the list of HTML tags and CSS attributes. So this is a document where I have all the HTML tags along with the explanation of what it will do, each tag and how to use it. An example. So I have the tag, I have the description of the tag, and I have an example. So I have this for all the HTML tags, and I have for CSS also. Okay, so I'll share this document also. This forever you can use it as your reference. So whenever you want, it will be accessible to you. So this document, this Visual Studio Code, this notes, all this will be shared to you in your channel. You can access from that. And to upload this assignment is only for today. Tomorrow I'll give you another assignment. So for today you will do this, and a Google form will be shared to you. Yes, and in that Google form you have to upload this. Don't upload the code. I want the output only. Okay, so you just take a screenshot of whatever you have designed and you will upload it there. You will be able to upload at least 2 or 3 pictures. Okay, so take a screenshot and upload that. I don't want your code, just the output. Okay, and remember, why I am insisting on assignments is based on your assignments for all the 5 days, how you are performing in your assignments. Based on that, as we mentioned in the registration form, we'll be again selecting the best performing students, and we'll be offering them 3-month internship with stipend. So concentrate on assignments. Only if you concentrate on assignments, you will be able to get that 3-month internship. All right. Yes. So that's it for today. And I hope people online have submitted your attendance sheet as well. Okay. If you don't have a laptop, then that is fine. I can't force you then. Yes. Thank you guys. We'll see you again tomorrow.